Right up there is Mr. Naughty Bowl. He's up there for being uncooperative. After almost 2 weeks of work and a total of 10 minutes of edited video, I now have to start on something new. You guys have been asking me to do this for a while, and today's the day. We're going to use our alternative resin dyes in a project, and we're either going to succeed or we're going to die trying. So if you've never seen a dye trying episode, the concept is I wanted to see if I could make pigments with things I had around the house. Some of the runaway winners for the episodes that we've done were cocoa powder, makeup, watercolor paints, sidewalk chalk, highlighters, charcoal briquettes. Picking which ones I want to use for this project is going to be easy because I already know what colors I want. I want this project to have a black in it, and while the cocoa powder worked great, the charcoal briquettes kicked its butt. It was amazing. Another color that I want is orange, and so that's going to be from the paint kit. And then the last color I want is sort of a translucent pink. And the best translucent pink that I got was from glow sticks. Charcoal as a pigment is not a revolutionary idea. The first people around a campfire were well aware that charcoal was a functioning pigment and has been used in art for millennia. But you don't have to go to the art store and buy it. You can bypass all that at home with just a briquette from a bag and a mortar and pestle. But today, I'm going to do it even simpler. All right, that looks great. And I said I wanted the orange one here. And getting the little paint pellet out. It's got a tiny bit of glue on it. Just scrape that off. Give it a couple whacks in the mortar and pestle, and then straight into the bean grinder. Here's our 2 dry pigments dealt with. We're ready to move forward. And there we go, a fairly clean mat. I'm actually going to be signing this and sending it to a viewer in Australia. And I'm only doing it once because he asked me. All right, now that we've got our dyes all sorted, we can get down to making whatever it is we're making. Here's our mold. Get some mold release in there. I'm going to put this to the side for now. I have this really interesting piece of walnut, so I'm just going to cut it up a little bit on the bandsaw and see where it fits inside here. Look at that, I think I accidentally cut the state of California out in walnut. That's almost hilarious. I'm right there. That's where I am, right there. I don't want to fill it up with pieces, but I do want some on the bottom here. So The wood is a supporting actor in this. It's the resin that we're trying to highlight here. You know, like that, kind of heavy on one side and not so much on the other, so that there'll be resin on that side and more wood build up on this side. Resin I'm using today is Total Vote, and the reason I'm using that is because it's a good resin for thick castings. I don't think it's as clear as some of the other resins I'm using, but since I'm going to be using it with a pigment, it should work really well for this. And then we'll add the hardener to each of them, and the hardener comes out really fast. It's very liquidy, so I gotta go super slow. First one we're gonna add is the charcoal powder, and we're gonna add a lot of it because we want this super black. And I bought this new paint stirrer paddle that I wanted to try out. I can definitely see the benefit of this in larger resin pours. It incorporates it really well. Seems like it would speed up mixing time too. Okay, that's pretty nice. Let's mix up some orange. And then the last pigment is the glow stick. You want to go ahead and activate it. All I'm going to do is just nip the end off here. Woo! That's a juicy one. I actually expected it to be a little darker than this, but we'll see. Oh, I think I got a piece of glass in there. Yeah, see, there's another piece of the glass. Yeah, a very, very pale pink. All right, cool. I'm gonna start by pouring in some of this black. Orange. I want to just kind of all around. I'm going to pour it over some of these blocks of wood, and then we're going to pour in our wispy color here. All right, now that's a lot of resin for the first pour. Up to 50 psi. And let it set for, ow. Okay, that's not good. I really like that. Really happy with that. We can rearrange some of this wood now. I don't see a lot of orange, which means that the black definitely took over. All right, we're just going to put it all in. All right, and I'm just going to pour them kind of at the same time here. See if we can't get a blending. Just give it a little, let them kind of blend at the edges there. Just going to let this kind of blend in. We just want wisps of this pink throughout. I ended up doing one more pour to get it up here to the full level. And that's the reason you use mold release. And cut a recess here, and it's mounted facing out. This will be the hollowed out portion. In looking at the resin layers, you can probably see the difference between our 3 pores here. There are a couple places where this is super soft. Does this go super deep down? I'm going to go ahead and try to remove material here in this area and see if we can get down to a section of resin here that is a bit firmer. There's a lot of reasons for uncured resin. Incorrect volumes of resin to hardener, poor mixing, temperatures in the shop, dyes or pigments that react to it. Since the other pores work perfectly, I'm 98% sure this was my fault. This is just a time-consuming process. It's like what everyone says, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is, what? Why are you eating elephants? What kind of psychos eat an elephant? Patience is fine, but honestly, that was taking forever. On the outside here, I'm just working on this curve. I want it to continue to go down. Today I'm going to be doing power sanding, and I've got the dust extractor running because this thing is dusty. So while 12 months on a shelf did harden up a lot of the uncured resin, there are still some parts that are soft. This little section of resin wears away faster than the wood does. The top should sand up really nice, but this little middle band here, it is hard enough to work, still a little softer than it should be. So because of that, I'm gonna turn off the power sander and just do this by hand. While I would normally pull out the micromesh at this point, I don't think it's the right tool for this, especially with some of those soft spots. I received some of this from a gentleman named Glenn, who I think owns the company. So it's a paste wax, and it's actually got some fine abrasives in it. And you can kind of hear the abrasives in there. And then you just hold the paper towel up to it. The abrasive is breaking down, and so it's getting finer and finer and finer, polishing the piece. And then we do the exact same thing with this finer grit.
How do you feel?
I think I can be honest and say this isn't exactly what I had in my head when I started this project. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of my parents' house growing up. This would have gone perfectly with their dark stained wood paneled walls and those glass grape things.
Yes, my parents had them.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom would have put out a doily and put this right on top of it, and she would have been in love with it. Maybe. And if you look here, you can see it's weird the way the orange settled. You can see how it settled at the bottom of the layer there. It didn't stay suspended in the resin.
I wonder why.
When we did the test, we used a resin that cured in 30 minutes. And for this bowl, I used a resin that cured in 4 hours. So it definitely fluoresces under blacklight. I know that that's the orange layer, because that's the same spot. So the orange isn't fluorescing at all. So that's got to be the pink.
I like the way this project turned out. Because the point, use things that you have around the house. And sometimes they're gonna fail, and sometimes they're gonna work.
And if we've got any 70-year-old friends that are getting married soon,
We've got a present.
yeah, we do. Thank you guys very much for watching. Go ahead and click that subscribe button if you want to see more videos, and we will catch you next time.